There's a brand out there right now spending $200,000 a month on ads. Revenue's up. The team is celebrating, and they are quietly, slowly going broke. And the worst part? Their dashboard looks amazing. Let me tell you a story. It's a fictional brand, but I promise you, you've seen this exact thing play out a dozen times in real life. Maybe it's even happening to you. The brand is called Elevate. They sell a premium protein powder, $65 a bag. They launched in 2021, found product market fit fast, and started running meta ads. It worked. They were getting a cost per acquisition, or CPA, of around $28. That's $28 to win a new customer who was going to spend $65. The math looked great, so the unit economics weren't catastrophic, but they were thin, and thin unit economics are fine, until you try to scale. Elevate raises $2 million in a seed round. Their investors want growth. The team doubles ad spend, then doubles it again. Revenue climbs. Month-over-month growth looks incredible on a chart. They're at $800,000 in monthly revenue by month 9. Looks like a success story. The profit line tells a different one. Here's what was actually happening underneath that revenue chart. Their cost to acquire a customer wasn't staying at $28. It was climbing. Fast, and this is the number most growth teams aren't watching closely enough. When Elevate started, they were targeting a narrow, well-defined audience, people who already searched for protein powder, people who followed fitness influencers, the low-hanging fruit. And those people converted easily because the ad reached the right person at the right moment. CPA was $28, but once they exhausted that core audience, the algorithm started reaching further out. People who were adjacent to that audience, people who were somewhat interested in fitness, people who might, maybe on a good day, consider buying a protein powder. And those people? They don't convert nearly as well. The CPA starts climbing. Elevate's CPA went from $28 at launch to $47 by month 6 and $83 by month 10. But here's the really dangerous part. Their revenue was still growing, so the team read that as a sign that the scaling was working. They weren't tracking CPA closely, they were watching ROAS. And ROAS looked fine. Because ROAS always looks fine when you're spending more, the platform just claims more of the revenue you would have made anyway. Sound familiar? By month 12, every new customer cost $112 to acquire on a $65 order. That's not scaling. That's burning cash. There's a concept in economics called the efficiency frontier, the point at which putting in more resources stops generating proportional returns. In advertising, we hit this wall constantly. We just rarely talk about it honestly. Think about it in terms of a sales team. Your best sales rep closes 80% of her leads. She's phenomenal. But she can only call so many people per day. So you hire a second rep. He closes 60%, still good. Then a third, 45%. Then a fourth, 30%. The team's total revenue keeps going up, but the marginal return per additional rep keeps going down. Ads work exactly the same way. Your first $10,000 goes to your best performing audience, your best creative, your highest intent moment. Every dollar after that is going somewhere slightly less efficient than the dollar before it. Every brand has a spend ceiling. The danger is not knowing where yours is. Here's where most brands get the story wrong. Growth and profitability are not opposites, but they do require different strategies at different times. And if you treat them like the same thing, you end up with neither. There are 2 levers in any ad-driven business. The first is acquiring new customers. That's your growth engine. The second is generating repeat purchases from existing customers. That's your profit engine. And the problem most scaling brands have is that they pour almost everything into the first lever and almost nothing into the second. Here's the math that changes everything. If Elevate's average customer buys once and never returns, they need to cover all their costs: product, shipping, customer service, overheads, CAC on that single $65 order. Impossible at an $83 CPA. But if that same customer buys 3 times over 12 months, the lifetime value jumps to $195. Suddenly, the $83 acquisition cost is very survivable. The question isn't, should we spend more on ads? The question is, what's our repeat purchase rate, and what would it take to move that number by 10 points? Let's zoom out from Elevate and talk about the broader D2C landscape, because what they experienced isn't unusual, it's the pattern. Almost every D2C brand that scales aggressively goes through this. In the early stage of a D2C brand, call it $0 to $1 million in annual revenue, CAC tends to be relatively low. You're reaching your natural audience, your early adopters. At $1 million to $5 million, you start saturating that audience. CAC begins to climb. You're still growing, but the efficiency is declining. Most brands don't notice yet because absolute revenue keeps going up. Above $5 million, the cracks become undeniable. CAC has often tripled or more from the early days. The channels that worked at $20,000 a month don't work the same way at $200,000 a month. And if the brand hasn't built retention, loyalty, or organic brand equity by this point, they're on a treadmill. Running fast, going nowhere. The brands that navigate this successfully, the ones that scale and become genuinely profitable, almost all do one thing differently. They treat customer retention as a marketing function, not an ops function. They measure and optimize repeat purchase rate, lifetime value, and payback period with the same rigor they bring to their paid acquisition. So if ROAS is lying to you, and we covered that last episode, and revenue growth is lying to you, what should you actually be tracking? Here are the 4 numbers that give you an honest picture of whether your ad spend is building a real business. Number 1. CAC payback period. Months until a customer's purchases cover what you paid to acquire them. Healthy for USDTC brands, under 6 months. Number 2. Lifetime value to CAC ratio. How much revenue a customer generates over their lifetime versus what you paid to win them. Aim for 3 to 1 or higher. Number 3. Repeat purchase rate. Percentage of first-time buyers who return within 90 days. Under 20%. Retention is broken. And number 4. Contribution margin percentage. Revenue minus all variable costs. Your real operating buffer. Below 30%, no room to scale. These 4 numbers, tracked monthly, tell you more about the health of your ad spend than any dashboard your platform will ever build for you. Because they're rooted in your actual business economics, not in what a platform decided to take credit for. Elevate's story, by the way, doesn't end in bankruptcy. In month 13, a new marketing lead came in, pulled the entire paid spend down by 40%, redirected $30,000 a month into email flows, loyalty, and post-purchase retention. Within 6 months, repeat purchase rate went from 18% to 34%. CAC came back down because the brand stopped trying to replace churned customers and started keeping the ones it had. Revenue was lower than its peak. Profit was real for the first time. That's the trade, and it's worth understanding deeply before you hit increase budget one more time. If this story felt familiar, the ROAS Reality Check scorecard will tell you exactly how inflated your numbers are. Link in the description, and the free MMM checklist if you want to understand whether you are ready to fix it at the model level. Subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. And drop a comment. What's your current repeat purchase rate? Let's talk about it.